I don't know. If I were you, I want to go to New York. By the way, happy Juneteenth. This is a good day to celebrate. It's the officially celebrating the officially last day of slavery in Texas, which was the last state to free its slaves. But we're going to be talking about something that may or may not be related to Juneteenth. Mr. Jordan Williams is charged with manslaughter. His crime is for standing up against criminals, which is illegal in New York. I don't know really what's going on in New York other than it's a not a very good place to live, especially when I'm hearing stories about this. But let's actually start with the Second Amendment. I think the Second Amendment needs to be reread multiple times to remind the state that they have no authority over us and how we arm ourselves. A well regulated militia being necessary to security of a free state. Now, a lot of people just want to do well regulated meaning in laws, but this is actually well functioning, well trained, well equipped, well everything. That way, the when the states called you up in case there was a rebellion or an attack, that you would be able to be in fighting order. Now, this is kind of a statement of well regulated militia is necessary to the security of a free state, is how I'm reading that. Which here's the statement. Then, of course, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. What is arms? Arms is anything that you could use to defend yourself, whether it's a hatchet, a knife, a gun, your fists, brass knuckles, body armor, all those things that makes you a military ready fighting force. Now, some context is when the Second Amendment was written, was when we didn't really have a standing army at the time. We defeated the Brits. We dissolved our military because we defeated the Brits, and we gave the states ability to protect themselves through militia. Now, the militia is like the precursor to the National Guard, even though Supreme Court has ruled the National Guard is not a militia. The militia is the people. It's when the state calls up people. I mean, you have the posse, which you have a town or a city that would call up people to go track down criminals. A militia would be the state calling up people to form a military fighting force because they didn't have a standing military at the time. And that's why it's so important to understand that well regulated militia is not saying that the state must govern the militia because the militia is made of the people. It's kind of like the first voluntary military service or the like a Minuteman type group to where they work for the state but they're separate from the state. That's also to help keep the state in check because when the state goes awry, then you have the means to protect yourself against the state. Now, some people call that insurrection. And yes, I do know that rebellion and insurrection is covered in the Constitution, that the president can call up the state militias to swell any rebellion or insurrection. But at least we still have a ability to keep the state in check if we are armed society because you want the government to fear its people, not that the people fear its government. So, what exactly is a criminal? According to Brave AI, a criminal is someone who breaks the law, such as a murderer, thief, or a tax cheat. Britannica provides a list of people who were convicted of crimes or became infamous of their criminal activities in order in alphabet. Yeah, whatever. That's really irrelevant. Synonyms of criminals include gangland, mob, organized crime, syndicate, abyss, and gangsters. Now I'm kind of going in reverse order. I'm building up to the story, by the way. Of course, back in 2022, The governor, this is Governor of New York, signs landmark legislative package strengthen gun laws and protect New Yorkers. Let's see here. Comprehensive 10 bill packet close critical gun law loopholes exposed in the tragic shooting of Buffalo Uvalde. Not Uvalde, but Uvalde. Bars the purchase of semi automatic for anyone under the age of 21 by requiring a license. Let's see here. Purchase a semi automatic rifle by anyone under the 21 by requiring a license. So you're restricting the Second Amendment right by requiring them to be licensed in order for them to get a gun. So you're doing a backdoor registry because if you're going to apply for a license, you're going to have guns. Prohibit the purchase of body armor with the exception of those specified in professions. So you're limiting people's ability to stay safe, especially in a subway, because if you're wearing body armor, you're less likely to be severely injured by a gunshot. I mean, I know that subways it's illegal to have a gun, but criminals break the law. They're not gonna be like, oh, I can't go on the subway. I'm packing my illegal gun. No, they're just going to get on the subway. Next year expands the list of people who can file for extreme risk protection orders and requires a law enforcement to file an ERPO under a specific set of circumstances. I mean, what good is a protection order? No, I'm being serious. I mean, protection orders are great. It sounds great on paper, but cops can't be everywhere. This year, the package also strengthened crime reporting, closed other gun loopholes requiring micro stamping of new semi automatic pistols. It eliminates grandfathering of high capacity feeding devices, requires social media companies to improve responses and to reporting to the hate or of hateful content. So you're pretty much eliminating the free speech because you're telling the companies that you're going to police. But of course, now we get to the actual story. Man charged in the fatal stabbing of New York City subway rider. Jordan Willie of Queens was charged with manslaughter in the death of D. Victor Ordiago, who was allegedly harassing passengers. New York has some interesting laws. They don't have assault laws, they have menacing laws. Menacing is kind of assault. Now, menacing can be both verbal and physical. They also have weird self defense laws to where, unless your life is in extreme danger, that your death is imminent, you cannot use deadly force. Deadly force also includes punching someone and they die from the punch. Also involves choking someone or a headlock that died from that. So unless the person is going to have a knife to your throat or a gun to your head, willing to pull the finger on the trigger, you can't kill a person in self-defense in New York. And I think that needs to be changed. I think one of these self-defense cases really need to go to the Supreme Court to change the dynamics throughout the whole country, saying if you fear for your life, like a reasonable fear. Now, I'm not talking about you see some black dude and you go pop him because you hate black people. You fear that black people are going to kill you. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about reasonable fear. As in, someone says that they're going to kill you. They don't care if they die or go to jail for the rest of their life. That is a threat. Or if they slap your girlfriend. The man was arrested on manslaughter charges with the connection to fatal stabbing of New York City subway rider who allegedly punched his girlfriend and harassed other passengers. Apparently in New York, you just have to take the abuse. The altercation occurred just after 8 p.m. Tuesday on northbound J train. As it approached Marcy Avenue and Broadway, the New York police said the victim identified as D. Victor Ardiago, but was he really a victim or was he the aggressor? Because he was harassing people. He was physically assaulting people. I know it's probably physically menacing or class 3 menacing. I just wish all the states would adopt assault and battery. It makes it so much easier. But I digress. Brooklyn was taken to New York Presbyterian Brooklyn Methodist Hospital with a stab wound to the chest. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. Police said a toxicology report will be conducted. Aradio, I can't say these names, unfortunately. Orderago had allegedly been harassing people on the train and was acting belligerently and erratically, law enforcement sources told NBC New York. Police officially told the station that one of the people he harassed was his girlfriend of the suspect, Jordan Williams, 20, who is a hero, who was defending people on that train of Queens. Now, I know some people are going to say that Mr. Jordan Williams is not judge, jury, and executioner, and I would agree. But the thing is if you're going to disrespect people, if you're going to lay hands on people, you are a threat, and you should be legally protected to remove said threats. Doesn't have to be proportion to the aggression that they're taking. If you feel like your life is threatened, or if you're fearing bodily injury, you should be able to defend yourself with any amount of force. It's through their actions of assaulting or hitting, making threats, which caused to their death. That's how I view it. Now, I know that there's a lot of court cases out there that disagree with me, but I think there's a sentiment growing in America that self-defense in the Second Amendment shall not be infringed. You should not put restrictions on self-defense. If I'm on the subway and someone hit me and I hit them or put them in a hold and they die, I should be set free and be ruled justified homicide because I was minding my own business. Someone violated my space, violated me by assaulting me. I should be able to defend myself. But according to New York, I'm not able to, and that's why I'll never be in New York. A police official told at the station that one of the people he harassed was a girlfriend. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. We read that. A source told NBC New York that Arriago punched Williams' girlfriend. It's not clear what led up to the stabbing. It's not clear what led up to the stabbing. No, I mean, this person just saw his girlfriend get punched, so he punched back. And he probably pulled out his knife because, weapons are an equalizer. And he took action. Two people police initially described as a person of interest were taken into custody. One of them was released. The police spokesperson said Thursday. The other, Williams, was arrested and charged Wednesday with manslaughter and the criminal possession of a weapon. Authorities said. Jason Goldman, the attorney for Williams, said that his client acted in self-defense. He said he was upset that Williams was charged without a thorough investigation. Thorough investigation. We understand that this was a packed subway car and during rush hour with dozens of witnesses. We have spoken with some of those who have already confirmed that the victim was physically violent with others prior to and during the incident. I mean, I know that's just the lawyers speaking. Goldman said in a statement Thursday. Goldman questioned why Williams, who was, I don't really want to read this, but I'm going to read this because I hate the fact that he's bringing race into it. Goldman questioned why Williams, who was black, have not received the same treatment as Daniel Penny, a white 22-year-old Marine veteran who was seen in the video putting Jordan Neely in a fatal chokehold on a subway train. Well, if you wanted to be equal, then he could pay bail because he got a cashless bail I mean, if you want everything to be equal, the New York could refund Mr. Daniels' penny bond if you want to be fair. I mean, I'm splitting hairs here, but I hate the fact that he's bringing race into it because I don't think race plays a part in everything. Penny's lawyers have said that Neely, eh, I'm ignoring that because I already did a video on Mr. Penny. Is Mr. Williams not going to get the same treatment that Mr. Penny received? Released voluntarily surrender and a low bail because his skin color is different and comes from a particular neighborhood, Goldman asked. Instead of those factors will likely result in Mr. Williams, a young boy, fighting this case of clear defense from a cage at Rikers. Young man be fighting his case himself. Oh, he said, referring to Riker Island is the city's largest jail. Relative of Ortega could not immediately be reached for comment because his family's not in America. He was an illegal alien. He was arrested, had prior arrests. He was released to be exported out of the country, but he never did. But I am glad that this person is on Give, Send, Go. Now, this is Miss April Williams, the mother of Jordan Williams, did a Give, Send, Go. I'm glad that these people are using alternative payment platforms other than the GoFundMe. We're going to read a little bit more. I'm actually kind of disappointed that it's 108,000. I was hoping that this would get 2 million because Miss Penny, not Mr. but Mr. Penny, Daniel Penny, got almost $3 million donated. So hopefully we can raise at least 1 million to 2 million for Mr. Williams. I am going to say I'm a little disappointed in that, but I understand people are strapped. It's a 3-day weekend. They got to pay for their barbecue to celebrate Juneteenth without really knowing what Juneteenth is really all about. But I digress. On June 13, 2023, Jordan Williams, my son, was involved in an altercation on subway where he acted with courage to defend himself and passengers from physically violent, reckless, and deranged individual. Man, that's a mouthful. Jordan was born and raised at the Wayside Baptist Church. He's a high school graduate and avid basketball player. Lover of the sport, he is soft-spoken and respectful of those in his community and his elders. The heartbreak over these events have taken us by storm, but our faith remains stronger than ever. We come from a house and neighborhood of love, and we ask for the same support and love in return during these times. We're blessed that the judge has allowed my son to fight this case alongside his lawyers from outside, but there's still ways to go in having these charges completely dismissed. The legal battle has only just begun. Please help us continue to raise the funds to support his thorough defense and so he can clear his name, move on, and continue on the amazing future he has. If you're a witness that took place, please reach out to the lawyer, Jason Goldman, at 212-466-6617, 212-466-6617, or at jg at jasongoldmanlaw.com. Now, of course, I'm going to have a link to this Give, Send, Me, Go. Give, Send, Go in the description of this video. This video's gone long enough, but let's see if we can't raise this up to $1 million. We could easily do it. And also share this link. That's all I ask, and have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening.